We finally made it back to Costa Rica a few weeks later than anticipated, but that's okay. We had to take an early Uber to the airport to fly back to Costa Rica, but it never really occurred to me how unhealthy of a job being a rideshare driver is. Get in the vehicle, and when you get into an Uber, every single one I've ever been in is just riddled with the most intoxicating smell, like artificial fragrance. I don't know if this is like the Uber driver starter kit that they get in the mail when they sign up to be a driver with a rideshare company, but they all have the same smell, and it is abrasively strong, and they have to sit in that smell all day. But not just that, this guy had no less than 4 technology screens on him while he was driving us. This gentleman also was working the graveyard shift, so the night shift of being a driver. So obviously the effects on his circadian rhythm from that alone, the effects of the artificial smell and the technology and exposure to non-native EMFs and being a big city driver, all of those things having an effect on his overall health. So his metabolic health, he was morbidly obese, his hormones, his circadian rhythm, I mean, all the things. So it just never really occurred to me how unhealthy and dangerous of a job being a rideshare driver is. Not to mention the sedentary lifestyle, just by nature of being a driver, you are quite literally sitting in a vehicle all day. I have a different appreciation for them now. So what can they do to try to mitigate some of those things? Can they turn off any of those screens? Do they have a sunroof that they can open up, windows that they can crack when people aren't in the vehicles? I would, instead of using the artificial fragrances, I would use something more natural, like essential oils. They're not using their vehicle. If they're worried about smells left behind by riders or even themselves, they could run an inexpensive ozone machine while they're not using their vehicle. So that's an option. You know, if they can't turn any of those screens off, wearing like EMF blocking clothing, and definitely at a minimum blue light blocking glasses. But when the sun does come out, you know, cracking that window, cracking that sunroof, opening those up to allow some natural sunlight in.